Hello, sweet friends, and welcome. This is Gina from the TheReBookery channel. I hope you guys are having a great day. Today, I'm going to do a video of me going through the process of making an altered book. So if you watched my video yesterday, you saw that I have been trying to figure out what I want to do for my next junk planner. So these 3 books that I'm going through right now were the ones that I had originally made for my junk planner, and then I just, for whatever reason, cannot commit to one of those 3. So I was digging through my books going to Goodwill pile because they're just kind of falling apart and wouldn't be able to be used as journals. And I saw this typing book, and I love the size of the typing book, and I like how it, if you turn it sideways, it's a really long book. So the pages are really thin. And the binding is not so great. You can see it's really loose as I go through and look at the pages. You can tell there's a lot of places where it's coming apart. So I'm kind of going through this and thinking it may not work. I may do all this work, and then once I get to the end of it, I may find out that the book is just too weak and I won't be able to use it. So I'm just playing around. I'm just experimenting. So the first thing I do whenever I get a book that I want to alter is I go through and I get rid of at least half of the pages, half to 2/3 of the pages. And the reason why is because I want to get rid of the bulk, because my spine is going to only be so wide, and I like to add a lot of stuff in my journals, and so I have to be cautious not to overstep my spine here. And you can see that this is a really thin spine. I don't even know if it's a 1/2 inch spine. So I'm going to remove a lot of pages. And the way I do this is I just go to the center of the signature where I can see the binding, the strings, and these strings are very loose. And so I just want to be really careful not to pop the strings. If you pop the strings, then they're no longer sewn in. So I'm pulling the papers on both sides and just kind of splitting the paper right down the middle so that it comes away from the binding. Once I've done that, then I'm going to go through and I'm going to glue these pages. So these guys need to be glued because they are very thin. I think this book is a 1970s typing book. So I'm just using a glue stick. I'm going to make sure I glue right in the center and then just spread some glue out to the side. I'm using just a gift card here to smush the papers together, sorry. And then I know that I need to reinforce the spine because where these pages are coming together, it's super loose. So I'm just going to go get some masking tape, and the one I'm using is actually pretty wide. I think it's like 1.5 inch masking tape. And then just add a little bit of glue down the center, and then I'll just put a strip of masking tape. The reason why I like masking tape is because it's neutral, and you can paint over it, you can draw on it, you can add stickers or whatever you want over it. So it's just something to kind of hold the book in place. I'm not doing it for any decorative purposes. The journals I've done before, like there were some way back when I first started doing altered books, I actually did fabric in the spines of the journals. So fabric where the 2 pages met. And I love that effect. It's really cool and it's very decorative, but it does add a lot of bulk, and you can't really write over it and you can't paint over it. So if you put down yellow flowers, you're kind of stuck with it. So masking tape works just fine, and it's really flexible, so it still allows me to open and close my book. So the way I'm working through this, and I sped this up quite a bit, was I'm working from the front. I'll do a little bit on the front, gluing pages together, and then going back and taping in the gutter there. And then I'll flip over all the way to the back, and I'll do the same thing, do a few pages, glue them together, and then add tape. The reason why I do this is because when you're doing this to your book, if you start at one end, what I have found is if you start at one end and work all the way to the back of the book, sometimes it can come out lopsided. So I learned the hard way a long time ago to just kind of work in the front, then go work in the back a little bit. And then I'm just kind of adding some different pages here. This one I'm just taking a page and I'm just folding it in half, so it's going to kind of be a half sheet of paper, and I'll just tape it in. And that'll kind of give me a little bit of variety in my pages. I think I do that a little bit later on another page. And then as I'm doing this, I close it every once in a while just to see if it's still able to close, if the binding is still going to hold. And I'm going to still keep on removing pages. I'm not even counting these pages. I'm just kind of eyeballing this and kind of getting a good feel for how many pages I want. For this, because it's going to be a planner, and I can't commit to a planner for very long, I don't need a lot of pages. I think in the end, when I count this, I think I end up with 20 pages, and that is perfectly fine for me. It'll take me quite a while to fill up 20 pages. So getting rid of all these pages, gluing them together, taping them, this takes quite a while to do. But once I have all of this done, then essentially my planner is ready, and I can go and I can add my months. I can start doing artwork. I can start gluing things in or painting. I feel like I'm going to do some painting on these pages because there's so much text. And you saw that gray page over on the yellow side. I am not in love with that. So I probably will do quite a bit of painting. I'm going to have to watch how much actual stuff I put in here because the spine is so thin. So I don't know. I have a feeling I'm going to have to do some repair on that spine because I'm pretty sure I will. Bulk this book up. Okay, so I'm just going to keep doing this, and you can just keep watching me glue. I'll talk a little bit about the books that I didn't use. So in my video yesterday, I showed you guys these books, and they were at 3 different stages. So one of them was completely done. It was the orange book. The pages were all glued together. I had pulled half to 2/3 of the pages out, and I had even gone through and put washi tape on all the edges. That one will be up for sale in my Etsy shop, and it is ready to go. You do not need to do a thing to it except just start putting your art in. The yellow book, Glorious Stew, I pulled all the pages out and I glued them all together. So it has all of its pages glued together so it's nice and thick. But I did not put washi on the edges because that, I don't know, that's a lot of work. And who knows, if somebody wants that book, they may not want my washi tape. They may want their own washi tape, or they may want to put whatever other kind of decorations they want on the edges. So that one's glued, but it's not edged with washi or anything. And then the third book is that cordon bleu book. It was the small gray one. I pulled, and it has a thicker spine. I think it's a 1.5 or 2-inch spine. It has had 1/2 to 2/3 of the pages pulled. It probably could still have some pages pulled from it because it had a lot of pages in that book. But I did not glue anything together. And then I, of course, did not finish the edges. So those 3 will be in my shop, and they're at different stages of the book altering process. And I will be sure to list that in the description so you know, if you're interested in them, you know which one you're getting. You'll know what you have to do to get it ready. And on that cordon bleu book, I don't even know if I would glue the pages because they are quite thick. So maybe it would be just up to you. If you wanted to glue the pages, go for it. If you felt like they were thick enough already, that you could leave them the way they are. Okay, so now I have gotten all the pages glued here and taped, and now I'm just going to kind of show you how I would start to get this into my planner mode. So I'm going to just take a little bit of washi. I'm just going to put washi on the edges, and I don't know, I'm just going to put the same tape on 2 pages, and then I get bored with that tape, so then I'll go to another tape and I'll put it on the next 2 pages. So once I put that on, I just add a little bit of glue, fold it over, snip off the edges if I need to. And then now I'm going to lay out my month. And I know the first month I'm going to put in this is April. So I am very messy. I eyeball this. I used to measure this a long time ago. And then I just got to the point where, what's the point? So because I cover it up so much anyway with paper and ephemera and stickers and mail and my writing and stuff. So I'm just going to totally eyeball this. I'm just going to use a marker, doesn't matter what color, because again, I'll go over this with lots of other decorations. You probably won't even see that marker by the end of April. And then just kind of spacing it out and seeing where I could lay my days out. Now this is one of the largest planners I've had. So yeah, I got a lot of room going horizontally. Vertical, not so much, but the horizontal room, there's quite a bit. So just kind of looked at the squares, counted them, and I realized I'm not going to have enough for all of April. So I could do a couple of things. I could scrap the whole thing, I could paint over it, and I could start again. Or I just keep going with this, and by the time I get to the bottom of the page, figure out how I'm going to add those extra 3 days. And because I'm in lazy mode today, that's exactly what I did. So once I got down to the bottom, realized I needed 3 more days, and I just took some paper that was actually came out of the book. I'm going to fold it in half so it makes it a little bit thicker, because these, like I said, these pages are very thin. And then I think I'm just going to tape it in as a flap, and those last 3 days will be just this little add-on flap to April. And then it gives me a little extra space underneath the flap to do, on the back of the flap, to do some journaling or some decorations or whatever I want to do. And yeah, just kind of adds a little interest to the page. So I'm just going to use my masking tape again, because I can paint over it, I can write over it. I'm going to trim it up, stick it on the page, and yeah, I call it good. And I like this planner, so I'm kind of excited about it. We'll see how it works with it being so thin, like the spine being so thin. But anyway, this is what I'm going to roll with this summer. We'll see what kind of shenanigans I get into with this book. So guys, thank you for hanging out with me this morning. I hope I gave you some ideas on how to alter a book. And remember, my Etsy shop, I will open tomorrow, Tuesday, March 19th. I hope you are healthy. I hope you are happy. And I hope you do something creative today. Bye.